happy early Thanksgiving to everybody. Thanks for being here. Again, it was a great win for us last week. Looking forward to the challenge this week. Guys are ready to get going. So just looking forward to the week coming up.
Start down front, Brent, on front right, and then we'll go to the left.
Coach, with that being a first for you, what was the most surprising aspect of being kind of the in-game head coach over those few hours?
Well, not so much surprising. Like I said, the main thing was this is no longer just focusing on the defense and the defensive line. So just having ears and giving my input on both sides of the ball and all three phases of the ball, from special teams to offense and defense. So just having to be more engaging to the overall whole picture of things. I think that's where Tony, Eddie did a great job coming in and being able to make some adjustments on the D-line while I was focusing on offense or special teams.
Third row on the left, Rob.
Howdy, Coach.
Howdy.
So last year, for the LSU game, it's like all of the pieces kind of came together, and we played arguably the best game of the year. Looking back at that, what do you think the difference was in that week, and what can you use to apply that to this game?
I thought those guys responded to a great challenge they had. It was a great challenge ahead of them. At the moment, the team we were going to play, LSU, they were getting ready to get ready for a conference championship. And our guys, for them, that was like, okay, well, this is our last game. Let's go out and play the best as we can. And like I said, it all came together. I thought all three phases last year came together and played well.
Go back to the back end, Ben, and then over to Tyler.
Coach, after the game, you talked about, you stand on the shoulders of a lot of people who've helped you get to this point. Of that support system, where do you think that humility kind of got instilled? Like, where do you think that kind of got drilled into you at a young age?
My grandmother, my mother, like I said, never get too big, never get too low, and understand that whatever we're blessed with, you better show some gratitude to it, so that's just how I was raised. To tell you exactly where it started, I just know my grandmother and my mother did a really good job on just keeping me humble and keeping me grounded, and just understanding that what can you do to make somebody else's life better, and you always get blessed when you do that.
And then after you guys, made the coaching change, did y'all get together as a staff? And, I know you're always self-evaluating, but just kind of try to come up with a few ideas, brainstorm some things that in your operations, either game day on the field or, routine leading up, things we want to try out just to try to get this team a spark in the whole week leading up to the game?
Yeah, we met as a staff, and we had to meet as a staff to see, okay, what was the best thing to get our guys prepared for the game. It was the best thing for us as a staff to make sure we can communicate and be on top of everything. Like I said, Coach Petrino came down the field, which was different. Promoting Coach Tony Girardetti to defensive line coach allowed me to be more freely during special teams and during the offense when our guys on offense was on the field.
Staying back behind the lights to the left, Tyler.
Coach, with that, that week that you've had, is there anything, I guess, in addition or more, or things you want to change for now your second week? No,
I think every week is different, and the opponent who we're preparing for. So create more competitive periods, just changing up the schedule for things we may need to see more that we didn't need to see last week. So every opponent is different, and what we need to emphasize on during practice.
And speaking of that opponent, when you look at someone like Jaden Daniels, just kind of what have you seen from him this year, and just how do you stop a quarterback like that?
He's extremely talented. Does a really good job. We look at a guy that rushed for over 1,000 yards, threw for over 3,500 yards. He has a great coach, Coach Kelly. So again, he's a problem. He's a true weapon. So we have to be on top of our game to give ourselves a chance.
Do you take last year's game at all, when preparing for this, or is it just too different of a team, I guess?
You have to evaluate the things that happened last year, but again, he's grown so much since last year. He's not up for the Heisman for no reason. He's talented, he's smart, he makes great decisions, he protects the football, so he's a challenge.
Go to the left, Carter, and then to the back, Chip.
What are these receivers at LSU? What challenges do they present from what you've seen?
They're 2 first-round draft pick talent. Look at their stats, look at the talent. These guys are first-round draft picks. Both of these guys have over 1,000 yards receiving. You don't see that often, 2 guys on the same team. And not just those 2 guys. You talk about even Lacey. He's a guy that's 500-plus receiving yards. So they have a talented group. It'll be a great challenge for us. Our guys are looking forward to it.
Coach, oh, go ahead.
Oh, do you expect Max Johnson and Josh DeBerry to be available to play?
They say it's a weekly, it's a daily matter, day to day.
Go back to the back, Chip.
Coach, with how much LSU has been scoring this year, how much pressure does that put on your offense to kind of match that? You feel like that maybe in a game like this, you have to score a lot of points.
It's not just pressure on the offense. Like I said, I mentioned this before. We had to play complementary football, and that's in all three phases. That's defense, that's offense, and that's special teams. We had to find the inches to do what we got to do. Like I said, those guys are going to score points. They have been all year, one of the best offenses there is in college football. And our plan is always to score points as well. You know, and on defense, our job is to stop them from scoring. And on special teams, we got to find ways to change the game.
Second row here on the right, David, right behind.
What do you guys plan on leaving for Baton Rouge?
Okay, so this week, tomorrow's the last day of school. Normally we leave on Thursdays to give our guys a chance to get academics done, you know, because we try with our academics. Due to this week being done with school on Tuesday and us practicing on Wednesday allows our guys to catch up on work on Wednesday. So I don't think there's a need for us to travel on Thursday this week. It allows our guys to spend time with their family on Thanksgiving, allow the coaches to spend time with their family on Thanksgiving, and then we'll have a walkthrough on Friday and we'll head out on Friday. And that's strictly due to us not having to worry about academic issues.
And offensively, since the Tennessee game, this team has been scoring in the 30s routinely, and obviously the 50-point game against Mississippi State. What is different offensively?
I said those guys, as I said, they trust in the process. And those guys are preparing the right way, and like I said, things are clicking. Like I said, I think Jalen's doing a really good job every week and getting better every week. So I'm excited to watch him on Saturday.
The front left, Cease.
You've been on the sidelines at LSU as an assistant. How much of a home field advantage do you think that is, and how different do you think it's going to be calling the plays in Death Valley?
Yeah, it's definitely a tough environment to play at. We're going to try to create that environment at practice as much as we can to prepare our guys for it. Like I said, it's all about your approach of it. You know, are you going to enjoy the moment, you know, or are you going to let it affect you? So as a coaching staff, we had to do everything possible to get our guys prepared to play in such a hostile environment, and we'll try to create that at practice starting today.
Other questions down front, Travis?
Yeah, so at times this season, there's been some struggles in pass protections on the offensive line. From your perspective on the other side, what has been some of those issues, and how are y'all working to continue to correct those coming into the game this weekend?
Yeah, when you say protection, I think it goes beyond just the offensive line. It can be either the mic call, it can be tight ends, it can be running backs, it can be how the routes being ran, it can be quarterback's decisions, you hold on the ball too long. So you can't just put it on one position group. So I think it's a collection of everything. But what we have to do as coaches is narrow it down so we put our players in the best situation where we don't have to worry about him holding on to the ball, where he can get the ball out of his hands.
Other questions? Front left, Cease.
So we could go back to Petrino on the sidelines. Did that have anything to do with Jalen Henderson possibly not having as much experience as, say, Max would, about him moving down from the booth on the field?
I wanted to get Coach down on the field to have this way he can control everything as far as making adjustments, and it's not over a headset. It's more so him talking directly to the quarterbacks.
Down front, Brent.
Yes, overall in the past week, have you enjoyed this overall experience and just kind of looking forward to it, you know, as long term at some point?
Yes, it's a blessing, and I'm forever grateful for this opportunity. I wouldn't rather be doing anything else but leading this group of guys.
Anything else? Yeah, go. All right. Second row, Ola.
Coach Booth had not been utilized a lot this year. I think he had 18 catches before last week. What was it about him, or last week that y'all decided to look for him more?
I think when the plays were called, it was there, and Jalen made really great throws to him, and we all know what he's capable of. He can make those tough catches, and he can do something after he catches it. So I don't think it was a decision based off the staff, like, hey, let's get Moose going. Every week, the player's job is to prepare, and the coach's job is to get them prepared. And they said it all clicked on this past Saturday, so I'm happy for Moose and the success he had.
Anything else? To the left, third row, Rob.
You talked about their special relationship with your mom. Can you share with us little bit of conversation about what you guys had after the big win on Saturday?
Yeah, so I go back. My mom always wanted all boys. Her last shot she had her boy, but before that she had 3 girls. So she finally got me at the end. And we just always had a great relationship. She does everything. She did everything possible to support me. Again, I appreciate her. She worked 2 jobs to take care of me and my family. It's not easy being a single parent mom, and the sacrifice she made for me and my family. I just show that gratitude back to her. I think the other thing you look at is, my mom's a God-fearing woman. So she's constantly praying for not just me, but the team and the staff. And I think for her to have an opportunity to travel and get the chances to watch the game and see the things and get a chance to meet so many great Aggies, I think she's just more appreciative of and proud to see the moment and hear good things about her kids. You guys all have kids, so if people speak highly of your kids, you guys be proud as well. So I think it was good for her just to get a chance to make it down to Texas and see a game.
And your daughter jumped in your arms there afterwards. That was pretty nice.
Yeah, if I didn't pick her up, you probably would have finished the interview. She was going to keep screaming daddy until I picked her up. So I'm glad just one of them made it over because I got 2 others that would have came over as well. So it's been hard to hold all of them and answer questions. But like I said, I got a unique group of crew at the house. My kids are everything to me.
Down front, right, Brent?
So as a follow-up to that, how old were you when you became aware your mom was really, really, really happy to have a boy? Like, when did she let you know that?
Well, when my 3 sisters told me I was the one that was spoiled, or told me that I wasn't the one, I never got in trouble, or so my sisters let it be known. My mom always told me, it's like, no, he's not. He's not my favorite. Then she'll whisper my ear that I was her favorite. So.
All right. Okay, we've got one from the French fry guy.
There you
Andrew
go.
Monaco.
Elijah, the 12th man kickoff team. What went into that? And when you talk brotherhood, when you saw the joy for one another after that play, did that gladden your heart because they got your message?
That's what it's all about, man. How awesome was that? To hear the crowd, to see the guys on the sideline, that's what it's all about. Those guys remember that for the rest of their life. I'm sure their family will. I'm sure the crowd will. I'm talking about what it means to be an Aggie. That showed it right there. And those guys had a time in their life. I love the fact to see them how hard they played, how fast they ran, and then to watch them celebrate. Man, that was special. That was special. It puts chills through my body when I watched it.
All right, Coach. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, guys.